friends. Hope everybody's doing great. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties today, so if it's a little bit fuzzy or it's streaming a little bit slowly, please forgive me for that. This week's parasha is Shoftim, and in the third verse it says, "Justice, justice shall you pursue." And earlier on in the Torah, it tells us to distance ourselves from falsehoods. And I have to admit to you that today I lied. Do you want to know to whom? I lied to myself. And that's something that we do very often. And it's probably the worst lies of all. Because when we lie to ourselves, either we make ourselves seem greater than we really are, or we put ourselves down so low that we think that we can never rise up. Our lies are that foot on the neck of potential. Our potential. In this week's parasha, Shoftim, we're reminded that God tells the Israelites when they left Egypt, "You shall return that way no more." And it's a funny thing to tell them because the truth is, who wants to go back to slavery? They're released. What do you mean, don't turn back that way anymore? And yet, we see in the Torah that they want to go back. And they have false memories of Egypt's greatness. You know how, like, when you revisit the past, you start remembering the good parts, even though when you were there, you were kind of suffering and complaining. Now, all of a sudden, the Israelites are remembering the garlic, the leeks, the cucumbers, all those great things that they had in Egypt. And now, I don't know, Moses brought them to the desert. Maybe they thought he was bringing them to dessert. But they're not happy and they want to go back. And it's easy to point a finger because we're not there. But we are. Because every day we do the same thing. We go back to our own personal Egypts. How? And first of all, why? Why did they want to go back? Because freedom is really scary. Once you leave slavery, once you leave jail, you don't know how to handle the real world. You only know what you know. And now it's time to move forward and go. But where? And how? And we do the same things. Are you not a slave sometimes to that one more cookie, that one more drink, that one more stock, that one more putting all my money on red or on black? We're all a slave to something, even to our anger. And why? Because we're afraid to be free. We're afraid to cross the new terrain and to set new footprints along the way. We are slaves to what, most of all? Not to chains, but to our memories, to our thoughts. Our thoughts are keeping us enslaved. And I remember, but now I have to look back because I forgot what I remembered, a quote by Toni Morrison, and it is, "If you want to fly, you have to give up things that weigh you down." And the thing that weighs us down the most, and I know for me, this morning when I lied to myself and I told myself, "You can't do it. You can't. You don't know how. You've never done it before. Don't try it. You can't do it." And it turns out I didn't listen to that thought. If you want to fly, you have to get rid of the things that weigh you down. And very often those things are words. Words that they called us in high school. You're fat, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're whatever you are. They gave us a million reasons why we can't get off the runway. So we burden ourselves with those own words and with our own memories and with our own thoughts. Norman Vincent Peale, famous thinker. Today, all the gurus are echoing his words. And they are, change your thoughts and you change your life. And the fact is, if you want to meet the person that you can become, then you have to let go of yesterday. Now, modern day thinking is, think positive. But this is not a new philosophy. This has been around since Judaism, since God created nation. Jewish thinking is, think positive and it will be positive. But how many of us are able to free ourselves of all those memories, of all the words people echoed in our ears of what we can't do, including our own words, you can't do it, including the lie and the lies we tell ourselves, like I told myself this morning. And it's very interesting how powerful thoughts are, because if we think of the 10 Commandments, there's only one that has to do with the mind, and that is the 10th commandment, thou shalt not covet. And the rabbis teach that that is the worst commandment to violate. And it's only a sin of the mind. Why is that the worst one to violate? There's murder, adultery. Why? Because if you covet, what you have in your mind will make you violate all the other commandments. If you want what the other person has, you will come to violate Shabbat, to steal, to lie, to cheat, to dishonor your parents. You will do everything wrong. Why? Because of the seed that was planted in your mind. You coveted. You gave it water. Your envy, your desire, your looking, your coveting. You watered it every day. And you gave it life, you gave it arms, you gave it legs, which helped you violate, unfortunately, not good help, violate all the other commandments. So our minds. This month, we're now the month of Elul. This is the month before the Jewish holidays, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. And it's a month where God is kind of looking at us and giving us a chance, up close. He's here among us, giving us a chance to change our behavior, to be better people. Not just better Jews, but better people. God gave us each potential. You're a great singer, you're a great writer, you're a great dancer, you're a great speaker. Whatever you are, He gave you potential. What are you doing with that potential? What are you doing with it? You have a chance to change, not to be buried by all the thoughts that are oppressing you and keeping you down. But in order to come to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur as a worthy recipient of God's blessings for the new year, how will this year, as you move forward, be different than last year? It can only be different in one regard: if you change what you are thinking, because your thoughts will set the steps. Your thoughts will kind of like dig in the path of the road that you're going to travel. But if you're walking always the same path because your thoughts are limiting the directions you can go in, then how can you change? Then each year will be a waste. Each gift of each day will be a waste. Why? Because you can't get out of your own mind. You can escape from jail, you can escape from slavery, you can escape from a bad marriage, and you can escape from a lousy boss. But you will never be free as long as you transport with you, as your traveling companion, all those negative thoughts, all those words that tell you, you can't do it. You do not have to follow your own footsteps. Redirect. Change your life. Change your thoughts. Be the best version of you. It's all in your hands. Shabbat Shalom.